What is going on, Taurus? It's Chris Anthony coming at you guys live and direct again, and this is going to be your general reading for the period in between January 1st and the 15th, 2019. So it is a brand new year. A whole new chapter has begun. I'd like to welcome you guys to 2019. Taurus, I also want to say big major shout out to the way you guys responded to the last video that I did for Taurus. It was crazy. I think we got like 10,000 views from Taurus last month that just came out to see the video. And you guys, most of you guys probably wasn't even subscribed. So I definitely appreciate you coming out and just connecting with the message that went out last month. All the people that subscribed and liked and commented, I definitely appreciate that. So this reading is especially for you guys. What else, Taurus? This is going to be a general reading, by the way, so I'll just do my whole spiel. And because it is general, it may not resonate with everybody. So if it doesn't resonate with you, you can catch me on one of my previous videos for Taurus. The last one was a pretty good one. Or one of my future videos that will be coming up for you guys later on this month. Also, if it does resonate with you, then like, share, subscribe, comment like you guys always do so well. And also, personal readings is going to be open up to all zodiac signs coming up in 2019. If you would like to get a more personal, direct experience with me, just email me. That will be in the description below. So let's hop right into it. This is going to be your present energy, Taurus, like we always do it. Starting off with the present energies, and then we're going to go into your futuristic energies over here. That'll be covering mid-month and towards the end of January. All right, I'm using the Rider-Waite Tarot for cards, and then to clarify, I'm actually using the Gustav Klimt deck, which is a good clarifying deck, I think. Let's hop right into the energy, starting off right at the beginning, at the top, crowning your reading, Taurus. You're showing up in your own reading as the King of Pentacles. And I like this energy because it's kind of like you taking on your own energy. You kind of like standing in your own power. This is what you're becoming, Taurus. You know, last reading we were kind of talking about the whole shift that was occurring in the, you know, the ending of one chapter was closing out. The ending of one cycle was ending and a whole new cycle was beginning and coming in. And this is kind of what all of this has been for, you know, to transform you into your most maturest, you know, version of yourself, the King of Pentacles, somebody that is, you know, stable. Somebody is stable, that is stable in their finances, their material wealth. Everything is kind of like lined up for you. When you're the King of Pentacles, you have worked so hard, you have built so much for yourself. You know, he kind of can sit there and kind of relax and have that smug look a little bit like, yeah, I did all this myself. The King of Pentacles is kind of like the #1 self-sufficient, if I said that right, the self-sufficient person in the tarot when it comes down to court cards. So this is representing you guys, Taurus, and kind of like where you want to be. And not only where you want to be, but what all of the things that you have gone through in the past is pushing you towards. You know, because clarifying this card, we have the Ten of Wands, and the Ten of Wands just represents that hell that you've been going through. Definitely in the year 2018. I got a lot of comments from you guys pretty much saying how the last reading was just a match because it was talking about all the hell that you had been through, all the karmic cycles that you have just been in, where it seems like you've been looking like this person in this picture, just dark night of the soul, like in the dumps, naked and afraid, like nothing is going right, nothing is happening, nothing is clicking, no money is coming in, nobody is coming to help. No, it's just kind of like you have to sit there and take it. And that's kind of what's been going on with you guys. But please believe that it has been for a reason. You know, for some reason, inside of the universe, the universal order of doing things, it works this way. Like you have to go through hell before you can get heaven. If you look at anybody that has ever been successful, any major famous person that is, you know, successful, abundant, you know, rich, famous, wealthy, whatever, they all had to go through like this Ten of Wands experience, this cycle that they were just stuck in, where they were at the bottom of the bottom, the lows of the lows. Like the person that comes to mind is Tyler Perry. He was one of the people that, you know, rose to fame, rose to being rich and wealthy. But if you know his story, he was homeless for a long time. Like, he was living in a car that he couldn't even really fit in. You know, it's crazy because just the other day, I follow him on IG, and he posted like a little car that he said was similar to the car that he lived in for like a number of months or a number of years. I forgot how long it was, but it was a while. While he kind of like worked on his dreams, he pursued, you know, making his play and becoming the person that he is today. But back then, during that time, he probably felt like this person right here, like naked. You know, and I think a lot of you guys, Taurus, have been going through that in the past, and it's only been because it's been trying to transform you into somebody that is powerful, somebody that is wealthy, somebody that is stable with your finances. Even if you don't make it to the heights of Tyler Perry or, you know, other people like that are just rich and famous, that may not be your goal. For some of you guys, it is, though, because to go through this 10 of wands experience in the way that I'm picturing it is doing something to you. It's a song pops in my head when I think about this 10 of wands experience, because for a lot of you guys, it has to do with finances. And I'm kind of into rap, and T Grizzly, I think he's like a rapper that's kind of like newer on the scene. He came out with a song like last year, and in the lyrics, he said, like, being broke did something to my spirit. You know, it was like he kind of, and I felt that for real, because I've been in that place also. Like, believe me, Taurus, you're not the only people that have been at the bottom of the bottom of the bottom. Like, believe me. But I could kind of understand what he said in that lyric. He said, being broke did something to my spirit. I asked people to plug me. They act like they couldn't hear me. Look at me now, I'm driving German engineering. So he kind of was talking about his whole transformation from being the brokest and how it kind of like broke his spirit, you know. But then he was able to transform into somebody who was now driving German engineering. He was driving a BMW, you know, but before he probably didn't have a car at all. And so I think that's what's happening with a lot of you guys, you Tauruses, that had gone through this past experience that was kind of like that dark night of the soul. You feeling like you're on a dark night or the dark side of the moon. No light was shining on you. It felt like you were going through hell on earth, you know, being like forged in the fire. That's exactly what it was doing to you. It was kind of like forging you, making you, transforming you into this person that you're supposed to be. But for some reason, like I said, you can't become that person until you just go through hell for some reason. You know, it builds your character. It builds things up in you through this hell on earth that you go through that you're going to be able to use for the rest of your life. Like, because the King of Pentacles is not somebody who is just able to get wealth, but he's able to maintain his wealth because of the things he has learned, the lessons that he's learned in the past. And that's why he sits there with such a smug look on his face, being so content, because he knows what he had to do to get to this place of being the King of Pentacles. And yes, Taurus, it's coming for you guys. For you to show up and crowning your reading starting off January as the King of Pentacles, I believe that is some greatness coming your way. You guys have already been through the worst. The 10 is the end. The 10 is the wrap-up. The 10 is the completion of burdens that have been, you know, weighing you down, and you have been feeling like you've been carrying this crazy heavy weight for the longest, and you felt like it's never going to end. You are at the end of that cycle, though, and I talked about it in the last reading. It's still here for you. Like, that cycle is wrapping all the way up, and you're coming into a place where you're going to start your rise. Like, you're going to start to rise to the King of Pentacles. You know, it could already be happening for some of you guys. If it's not happening yet, just know that it's coming. You're at the 10. You're completing that cycle. And you're taking on this energy. You know, within yourself, you're taking on that King of Pentacles energy. You're going to start, you know, looking at your finances in a different type of way. You're going to start, you know, feeling that you deserve better out of this life. You know that you're supposed to have more. You know that you're supposed to be able to produce more with your skills, your talents, everything that you possess. Just your vibe as a Taurus, you know, as a bull, as somebody that's powerful. You know, the bull is one of the most powerfulest, you know, animals that kind of like roam around earth. And it's kind of like the bull is hard to be, you know, to tame and everything. And that's kind of like what you guys represent, the powerful stubbornness of the bull. And I think you guys are not going to stop until you get what's due to you, what you know you're supposed to have. And it is that pinnacle. You know, you guys are that earth sign, and you are very tuned into your material wealth. And that's why this whole transformation has been occurring. That's why you had to go to those depths, because when you are somebody that's going to rise to such heights as I see some of you guys that are watching this video are going to go, you do have to go to the low of the lows before you get there. That's just how it works. For some reason, you have to be initiated into that type of wealth. And if you look at anybody's story who has come from the bottom and made it to the top, they had to go through the most craziest stuff in their life before they got there. Look up Oprah Winfrey's story. Look up Tyler Perry. Look at, I could just name them all. It's a lot of people who went through it. And I know you guys know about it, but you match them in that, you know, Taurus. You've been going through that same story. And in the end, you're going to have something to show for it. Believe me, like, you're going to get the karmic rewards of making it through that whole cycle that was crazy. Once again, Ten of Swords. You not only have the Ten of Pentacles, but the Ten of Swords. You feeling like everybody left you. Nobody was there to help you. Nobody reached out. Nobody, you know, you were the person that's always helping somebody out. But then when you made it to the bottom of the bottom, it was nobody there to catch you. And that's for a reason. Like, you had to go through the gauntlet because you had to be transformed. You had to be made into this person that you're becoming, this powerful, wealthy, rich person. And you can think that what I'm saying is just words, but it's definitely not, Taurus. Like, I'm feeling it in the energies. Like, that last reading that you guys had was such a powerful reading. And it's kind of the same message that's coming up in this reading. You know, it's only a couple of weeks later. And going into 2019, the end is here. The Ten of Swords represents the end of that feeling of being betrayed, stabbed in the back, left for dead, forgotten, out in the cold, all those different things that come along with you just going through the struggle of life. Like, the struggle is real. And I know it is, Taurus. But you're at the end of the struggle. As a matter of fact, you're choosing to walk away from this, you know, and a lot of you guys maybe in a place where you're kind of like, I can't just get up and leave. Like, I'm stuck here. I'm still on the ground, just stuck with the swords in my back, and I'm bleeding. And I understand that, but it's metaphorically or symbolically, spiritually, you're leaving this place because it's ending. You know, and it wasn't just because you had to go through hell for no reason. Nobody just goes through hell for any reason. Everybody has their portion of hell that they go through during this life. Everybody has that portion that they don't get what they want. Everything goes wrong. Everything falls apart. It's called the dark night of the soul. And that dark night of the soul makes you realize some things about yourself. It makes you go deep and dig deep inside of your shadow self and dig deep and do that shadow work and face all those demons, face all those fears that would have never came to the surface if everything was so peachy. You had to feel this type of energy. You had to feel this type of darkness, this type of death in order to face some things that would have never been faced inside of yourself that could have been keeping you from this success that you want. A higher level of success. Even if you've had a certain level of abundance, even if you had a certain level of success and finances, maybe before this whole cycle that happened where you kind of felt like you lost everything and you were going through the dark night of the soul, it's going to be nothing compared to what you're going to be becoming after this cycle ends, right? So you're walking away from that feeling of feeling like you're defeated, you're worthless, you're nothing, just because your surroundings are saying that to you. That, you know, has nothing to do with who you are as a person. Like, how much money you have, what you possess, has nothing to do with who you actually are as a person. And maybe for some of you guys, that's the major lesson that you're kind of walking away from, is like, you may not have everything in the world right now. Everything may not be at the level that you wanted to be, but you're walking away from letting that be the determining factor of your self-worth, right? Because a lot of times the things we possess in life, you know, our material wealth, we usually base our identity inside of those things. And so we think if we don't have a car, if we don't have the best clothes to wear, if we don't have the greatest relationship or no relationship at all, if we don't have, you know, a job or the greatest job, and we're not making six figures, then a lot of times in this society, we kind of view ourselves as being a person that is nobody, a loser at the end of the day. And it's just not true. And, you know, that train of thought kind of continues to make you be in a place where you continue to be a loser, because you think because you don't have it, you are a loser. So how could you ever get it? You know, the only way you can attract this type of wealth is for you to heal that part of yourself that, you know, feels like it's worthless because I don't have everything that I desire. So you're walking away from that train of thought, you know, and that's what this healing is about. The ending of this cycle is you walking away from that train of thought of you feeling worthless because you don't have everything in your life that some other people have, or that you want to have, and you want to, you know, you desire. Those things are coming, but first you had to go deep and heal some of those places that were kind of like hidden in the darkness. You had to go to the darkness, unfortunately, Taurus. But the great thing is you're moving forward. All these cards are endings. You have the 10 of Wands, completion, dropping off burdens. The 10 of Swords, completion, dropping off those mental, you know, things that you fight and struggle against and that keep you stuck in your head and keep you feeling like, you know, you're nobody and worthless. You're ending it, you're dropping it. 8 of Cups, you're walking away from something that didn't emotionally fulfill you. You're walking away from that feeling that I was just explaining. 6 of Swords, you're walking away and heading towards more peaceful, serene waters. You're walking away from the turbulence that was in your mind. You know, that all these, maybe the external things around you could have caused, but it was only trying to trigger some things that needed to be healed internally. Every time we undergo something external that's almost crazy and we don't even believe it, it leaves us feeling like this. You know, like, what is going on? It's always usually to heal something internal that we kind of neglected, we didn't know even existed, and this moment in time triggered it. You know, it made us kind of face it and heal it. But now you're moving on past this whole cycle. And I love it because next after that, Taurus, you have the World card. And I know we're 17 minutes in and we're just now getting to the to the World card. So I appreciate you guys that are still watching. But that's what's coming for you next. The World card symbolizes a cycle that is ended and a new cycle that is beginning. And the in-between moment that you have to realize what has happened in your life, to realize the level up that you have come to, the person that comes out on the other side of the tunnel. You know, after the dust has settled, this is who you are becoming, somebody that is powerful, that is spiritual, that is tapped in, that is tuned in, you know, with your passions, with your vision, with your blueprint for your life. You have become a lot more clearer through these things that have happened to you in the past, through these burdens, through these betrayals, through these brokenness. And, you know, being broke did something to your spirit. It's making you rise to a level that you didn't even think you could go. So in 2019, you having this World card right at the beginning of the year is representing the heights that you are going. If you could see this, you know, woman in this picture, she is floating above the clouds. And that's just the symbolism of how high you're about to go. Like, you don't go that low for no reason at all. You know, it's like, and you don't stay down at that level forever. The tables start to turn, the karmic wheel starts to shift, and then you start to see your rise happening. You know, you take all those lessons that you learned at the bottom and you take them with you to the top, and that's what's happening, Taurus. Let's go. So the World card is coming, symbolizing a new beginning, a brand new cycle that's coming into your life, and guess what? It's having to do with your finances. The 10 of Pentacles clarifying that card. That's what's happening. That's what you're headed to, a completion with the level of finances that you're going to have. So you're never going to find yourself this low financially again, especially with all these cards, because you have completed a certain cycle. You've been through a certain level of initiation. The universe have put you through the gauntlet, through all these different tests, you know, to test who you are as an individual, so you could see exactly who you are, so that you could see how much you could take and survive. And that built up so much in you, so much inner fortitude, that is going to be affecting your finances. Once you go through this level of darkness, this level of being broken apart and transformed as a person, you automatically come out on the other end being able to attract all the things that you want in your life. You know, it comes along with the territory. So you're moving to a place where you're going to be able to attract this abundance. You're going to be moving into this high level of abundance. You're going to be yourself, the King of Pentacles, and having this level of stability after going through a whole cycle of instability and imbalance and craziness and turmoil and tower moments after tower moments and hell after hell. Yeah, that's what's happening, Taurus. You're breaking into another level of financial success, financial abundance. It may not look like it right now, but this is what's coming your way, the World card. So I want you to start to adapt that energy into your life, Taurus, like this transformation, this pull that's about to happen with you and the universe because you've passed and graduated this level, you know, of testing that you were just on. Now you're about to start attracting a high level of abundance. Right? And I'm not saying that, you know, you're going to get rich overnight. For some of you guys, maybe. It is a general reading. But I'm just talking about the vibration, the frequency that you're going to have when it comes down to money now. Because we all know money is a currency. And it's energetic. You know, you have to attract abundance. You have to become abundance in order for you to attract it. And that's the lessons that you've been learning, like how to become abundant. And the things that have been blocking your abundance have been the things that have been kind of like done away with inside of you. And it has happened through craziness and turmoil and hell on earth. I mean, I was about to say another word, but I'm trying to keep it non-vulgar. But that's what's been going on with you because you are supposed to be attracting another level of abundance, you know, a higher level of currency. And it's coming your way, Taurus. Congratulations, definitely. You're going to start to see that unfold for you going on as the year moves on. Let's go into your future energies, though. We have the Page of Swords. We have the Four of Swords. We have the Tower card. And then we have the Seven of Wands. So starting up top, the Page of Swords here for you is representing, I think, a change that happens in the way that you're viewing life, the way you're choosing to communicate. And with the Page of Swords being here and it's clarified by the Queen of Swords, I think this is kind of like a graduation that's happening when it comes to the way you communicate. Maybe before, some of you guys could have been moving at a level of like a Page of Swords and communication, or just, let's say, your outlook on life, the way you maneuvered through life was kind of like on a more page level, even if you didn't even recognize it, you know. But it's kind of like this whole level up, this whole cycle that's been happening to you and happening in you and through you is kind of making you graduate from being a page to a queen. And the Queen of Swords, as we all know, is kind of like the badass of the tarot. Like, this is the person that does not get messed with. This is the woman that has been through so much testing and so many hard lessons and learned so much about herself and other people that she is kind of like detached. She won't take any shit from anybody. And I had to say that, you know, for you guys who don't like cuss words, but this is what's happening. You're becoming that Queen of Swords where you're taking on your power, you're standing in your authority. And that's just another aspect of what you're going to be tapping into, headed towards in the future, especially when it comes down to your communication. You're taking on a more direct approach to life, you know, like a more direct form of communication. And your lessons have taught you that, like, you can't beat around the bush anymore. You know exactly what it is that you want to communicate and who you want to be and what you need and who you don't want around you and who you want around you. And you're using the sword to cut out the people that no longer serve you and the things that no longer serve you. And then other people that can be an asset to you, you can invite them in to be a little bit closer with you. But the queen uses that sword. You know, she is a fool with that sword. Like, she knows how to cut, for real, anybody. She knows how to cut it out. She knows how to stop the craziness, the BS, do away with it. That's another lesson that you've learned through this whole cycle. Moving right along, we have the Four of Swords. So this represents a time of reflection that could be coming up for you in the near future. You could be reflecting, like I said, about everything that has happened to you in this past cycle. It wasn't an easy one, Taurus. Was not easy at all. But good things and great things are coming your way, and you're probably taking the time out to kind of reflect on everything that you have learned. Coming up towards mid-month, maybe the end of January, you're going to be like in a more reflective state. This is nothing like the hermit mode or the hangman, you know, nothing that deep. It's just you kind of like kicking back a little bit and reflecting about the past and about everything that you have made it through in recent times, right? Also, you could be reflecting about how your beliefs are kind of changing, the beliefs you have about your reality, about the world in general, about the people that are around. This whole series of events that happened to you that maybe was like kind of like hell on earth could have made you change some of your beliefs, you know. And I'm not even talking about on the surface level of like, okay, I'm a Christian and now I want to be agnostic, or I'm an atheist and now I want to be a Christian. You know, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about just the core beliefs we have deep down that we were kind of like, you know, taught as a kid or that we picked up as a child. You can find those kind of changing when it comes down to the way you view your money, the way you view your material wealth, the way you view your person, you know, yourself as a person, right? And because you've been through this whole crazy dark night of the soul experience, maybe for a while now, it has caused you to kind of see some things differently in your core values, you know, and it's some things that you're changing about the way you believe, the way you look at life, you know, because you've learned some hard lessons. And that's regular, like that's normal for us to kind of like upgrade the way we believe. You know, you're kind of like upgrading your programming, and this is why you're kind of like taking that short rest, because it's something that's being upgraded in the way you were programmed, maybe from childhood. You know, it's kind of like your system is being upgraded. You're no longer going to be running Windows 10. It's kind of like you're jumping to Windows 13, right? Only because you've kind of like been through all the different channels of transformation, and now you have to upgrade your view, your lens on life, your operating system. Let's go, Taurus. Right after that, though, we have a tarot moment that comes in. And so I believe that that's going to be connected to the views that you're changing, you know, the internal beliefs, the internal programming that's running on your hard drive, that operating system that you've been in for the longest. It's kind of being done away with. So the Tower card is just coming crumbling, crashing down, because it's like that whole operating system no longer can exist in the place that you're going. The heights that you're about to rise to, you can't even keep the same operating system. It has to be replaced. You know, and it's mostly going to have to do with this Seven of Cups energy, the things that you thought were more realistic, but really they were kind of like illusional, you know, because the Seven of Cups represents like illusion. It represents us having options too, but a lot of those options being based in illusion and cloudiness, and not being based in reality and being grounded in reality. So a lot of different beliefs that you had that kind of were not grounded in reality or based in reality are kind of going to be done away with, and you're kind of being shown those things at the moment, or you will be in the near future, and you're kind of having a rude awakening. And don't fret because you got this Tower card. All of my readings, the Tower card is popping up for some reason. So I think early on, you know, the universe in 2019 just kind of wants us to just wake up to a whole nother life for ourselves. Just know that 2019 is not going to look anything like 2018. And I know people say that all the time, but I'm seeing Tower cards left and right, because it's kind of like quick, rude awakenings that we're having just to snap us out of that whole 2018, you know, energy. And it's kind of like 2019 doesn't want us to even be associated with our past, you know, especially the things that are going to continue to hold us back and no longer serve us. So for you, I'm thinking that has to do with illusions, you know, that you viewed the world in certain, you know, certain ways that kind of were not as realistic as they could be, not grounded in reality. And so as you do this reflection and you think about everything that happened to you during this past period, you're going to kind of see some of those things, those programs that have been running on you that you kind of have outgrown and you don't even need them no more. So now you can toss them to the side. You can take the training wheels off. You know, you are a grown adult now. You know, and not only that, like, even if you've already been a grown adult for years and years, it's kind of like you are now leveling up to the next level of maturity, the next level of awareness, the next level of ascension. This is a spiritual path we're on, by the way, and it's about leveling up, right? Becoming more aware and more aware. So that's happening to you, Taurus. Then right below that we had the Seven of Wands, and then clarifying that we have the, guess what, the Tower again. So maybe some of you guys could be fighting this Tower moment a little bit, but it's not going to be, I don't feel that it's like a crazy Tower moment. I believe that you've already been through the worst, you know, when it comes down to all these different tens that you've had in the past, like Ten of Wands, Ten of Swords. You're moving beyond all that energy. You're coming into a brand new cycle, you know? And so these small Tower moments that, or this small Tower moment that's happening right now, this month is just kind of like giving you a quick shake up, like just to let you know, like, the old cycle is done, you know? Like, you don't even have to fight it anymore. Just release it, let it go, surrender everything. It's done, let it pass away, because a brand new cycle is beginning for you. And I know, you know, I kind of keep saying this because I even said this in your last video, but it's happening. Like, and I think that's why the cards keep coming up this way, to let you know that it is ending this old cycle that you've been in that caused you so much kind of hurt and pain and made you feel naked and left for dead and kind of like so vulnerable to the external forces. Now that's going to be the same thing that ties into your power and your material wealth, right? Because with this card, you're still naked, but you're not afraid. This Ten of Wands, though, you were naked and afraid. But now it's kind of like you're taking on your power. You found your power through that nakedness. And I'm talking symbolically. You found your power through that level of being so vulnerable and, you know, seeing things just not happen for you and not come together and not go through and not work out. But somehow it has built up an inner level of fortitude that's going to be used moving forward. And you're going to come out shining. Like, I already know. I know how the process works. Believe me, Taurus. Believe me. And you're coming out on the other end of this whole transformation, this whole dark night of the soul, and you're leveling up to the king. So let's go, Taurus. Congratulations. Happy New Year, by the way. I hope you guys liked that reading and it resonated with you. You know, it was some high energy going on here for you guys too. But I love it. It's just a wrap up of that old stuff, and some new things are coming into you guys. So definitely thank you for viewing. It resonated with you. You can like, share, subscribe, comment, all those great things. Also, if you want a more personal reading, email me. That'll be in the description and we'll set that up. Until next time, it's Chris Anthony and I'm signing off. Later.